This is Naeem Rahman. Today I am starting an important conversation with ChatGPT, topic that often goes unnoticed but affects mental and emotional well-being. Identifying and avoiding toxic positivity. While optimism can be powerful, forcing positivity in every situation can ignore real emotions, invalidate struggles, and prevents genuine growth. In this session, we will explore how to recognize toxic positivity, balance optimism with realism, and maintain authentic emotional health. Hello ChatGPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great, thank you. How about you? How can I assist you today?
I am good ChatGPT. Today we will talk about how to identify and avoid toxic positivity.
That's a really interesting and important topic. Toxic positivity can definitely have some subtle effects, so I'm excited to dive into it. Let me know where you'd like to start, or if you have any specific questions in mind.
Okay, what is toxic positivity?
Toxic positivity is when there's an excessive emphasis on maintaining a positive outlook and dismissing or invalidating negative emotions. It often involves pushing people to always look on the bright side and discouraging them from expressing or acknowledging their true feelings, especially negative ones. This can lead to emotional suppression and actually be harmful in the long run.
Okay, how is it different from healthy optimism?
Great question. Healthy optimism involves positive outlook while also acknowledging and validating negative emotion. It's about recognizing challenges and setbacks and then focusing on constructive solutions and growth. On the other hand, toxic positivity completely dismisses negative feelings, often making people feel guilty or ashamed for having them. Essentially, healthy optimism embraces the full range of emotion, whereas toxic positivity denies them.
Okay, why is toxic positivity harmful to mental and emotional well-being?
Toxic positivity can be harmful because it invalidates genuine emotions, leading people to suppress or ignore their feelings. Over time, this can increase stress, anxiety, and even feelings of isolation. When people feel they can't express negative emotions, it can lead to emotional bottling up and even burnout. Ultimately, it hinders authentic and prevents individuals from processing their experiences fully.
Okay, what are common signs of toxic positivity in ourselves and others?
Some common signs include dismissing or minimizing negative emotions by saying things like just say positive or look on the bright side without acknowledging the real challenges. Another sign is feeling guilty or ashamed for experiencing negative feelings or forcing oneself to always appear happy and in others it might show up as consistently ignoring or invalidating their struggles or even pressuring others to hide their emotions. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward fostering a balanced and compassionate approach.
Okay, how can we validate emotions without falling into negativity?
A way to validate emotions is to acknowledge them without judgment. This means listening actively and empathetically, letting the person know that their feelings are good and understandable. You can also help them reframe the situation by focusing on constructive solutions or coping strategies rather than pushing for a forced positive. It's all about balancing empathy with a forward-looking mindset. Acknowledge the emotion and then gently guide toward a positive direction.
Okay, why do people often force positivity in stressful situations?
A lot of times people force positivity because they feel pressure to stay upbeat for others or to maintain a sense of control. It can also stem from cultural or societal norms that prioritize happiness and resilience, sometimes at the expense of authenticity. People might do it to themselves from vulnerability or to avoid difficult conversations. Ultimately, it's often a coping mechanism, even if it's not always the healthiest one.
Okay, how can toxic positive affect relationship and communication?
Toxic positivity can create barriers in relationships because it often leads to a lack of genuine emotional connection. When one person constantly dismisses the other's feelings, it causes the other person to feel heard, invalidated, or even isolated. This can erode trust and make open and honest communication difficult. Over time, it can also lead to misunderstandings and resentment, as people might not feel comfortable sharing their true thoughts or emotions. Ultimately, fostering a healthy relationship means embracing the full spectrum of emotions and supporting each other through both the highs and the lows.
Okay, what strategies help maintain realistic optimism?
One effective strategy is practicing mindful awareness, which means acknowledging and accepting both positive and negative emotions without judgment. Another key approach is focusing on problem solving and resilience. So challenges arise, you look for constructive ways to move forward rather than just ignoring the difficulties. It also helps you practice gratitude, but in a balanced way where genuinely appreciate the positives while still acknowledging the negatives. And finally, maintaining open communication with others and seeking support can help keep that realistic optimism in check.
Okay, how can leaders or friends avoid promoting toxic positivity?
Leaders and friends can avoid promoting toxic positivity by first fostering an environment where all emotions are welcome and validated. This means actively listening and showing empathy without rushing to offer solutions or opinions. It's also important to encourage open dialogue where people feel safe sharing their struggles and concerns without fear of judgment. Another good practice is to model vulnerability, showing that it's okay to express and process difficult emotions. Lastly, leaders and friends can focus on offering support and understanding rather than pushing for forced positivity.
Okay, what role does self awareness play in recognizing unhealthy positivity?
Self-awareness is crucial because it helps us tune into our own emotions and recognize when we might be brushing aside genuine feelings. When we're self-aware, we can notice patterns. When we're quick to dismiss negativity or feel uncomfortable with certain emotions, this awareness allows us to strike a balance, making space for both positive and negative emotions. It also helps us to be more empathetic towards others, as can better understand and respect their emotional experiences. Overall, self-awareness is like the foundation for maintaining a healthy and balanced perspective.
Okay, how can mindfulness or reflection help balance emotion?
Mindfulness and reflection are powerful tools because they help us stay present and fully aware of our emotions without judgment. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings as they are, which helps us avoid immediately jumping to overly positive or negative conclusions. Reflection, on the other hand, lets us look back on our experiences, understand our emotional responses, and learn from them. Together, these practices help us strike a balance by allowing us to acknowledge and process emotions in a healthy, constructive way.
Okay, is it possible to be positive without ignoring challenges and how?
Absolutely. Being positive doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It's more about approaching them with a constructive and hopeful set. This means acknowledging the difficulties and yourself to feel those emotions, but also focusing on solutions, growth, and the potential for positive outcomes. It's about balancing realism with optimism, being proactive, and maintaining a hopeful outlook, even in the face of adversity. This way, you can stay resilient and motivated while still being honest about the challenges.
Okay, how can someone support others authentically without toxic positivity?
Supporting others authentically involves listening deeply and empathizing with their feelings without trying to immediately fix everything or push them toward a more positive outlook. It means validating their emotions, letting them express themselves fully, and offering a compassionate ear. You can also help by asking open-ended questions that encourage them to explore their feelings and reflect on possible solutions at their own pace. Additionally, providing practical support, like offering help or just being present, can go a long way. Ultimately, it's about being genuine, patient, and non-judgmental, allowing them to feel seen and heard.
Okay, ChatGPT, give me today's talk summary in one sentence.
Today's talk focused on understanding and addressing by fostering authentic emotional validation and balancing optimism with realistic acknowledgement of challenge.
Okay, ChatGPT, thank you. Goodbye.
You're very welcome. It was great chatting with you. Take care.